Hello, everybody. This is Joe Martin at First Baptist Church in Toledo. I don't know about you, but it seems like many times I feel like I'm really doing pretty good. I'm really trying to be super loving. And in my own estimation, I'm like ready to go the distance. But then circumstances that I didn't expect are some setback or some twist and turn. All of a sudden, I realize I'm just not even barely even handling things well at all. I mean, I'm not handling things well at all. I'm not reacting in love. I'm reacting in fear. This is not a new problem. The life of the Apostle Peter, right before he wasn't, he, he was riding pretty high. He was, thinking of himself as that leader and thinking that person is really loyal and loving for Jesus. And then he denied him. And, that causes me to pause about myself. And when the Lord gives you an evaluation of yourself, he doesn't, it's not really just an opinion. When he told Peter, he said, Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times, which he ended up doing. Of course, Peter said, no, Lord, I'll even go to die for you. I'll agape love you. Well, later, after Jesus rose from the dead, he sought out Peter and the other disciples, and they'd gone back to fishing, and they have breakfast. He specifically takes Peter aside, and he asks him, he restores Peter, and he asks him if he loves him 3 times. And the way he mixes it's lost in the English, and I know sometimes people make too much of this, but he mixes the words, the interchange of words for love in a way that is both instructive, especially to me, and convicting. Let me just read the narrative to you. It says in John 21:15, when they had finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love, or do you agape me? Do you sacrificially, I'll go the distance, I'll die for you? Do you love me more than these other things, what you're doing in your life? He said to him, yes, Lord, you know that I friendship love you. He said to him, tend my lambs. He said to him again a second time, Simon, son of John, do you agape love me? Do you love me with that sacrificial love, like you were saying? He said to him, yes, Lord, you know that I phileo love you. I love you with brotherly love. I'm the one that loves you. I am your friend. He said to him, yes, Lord. He asked him, do you love me? And he said, yes, Lord, you know that I phileo love you. And he said to him, shepherd my sheep. He said to him a third time, Simon, son of John, do you phileo love me? Do you even love me as a friend? And Peter was grieved because he said to him a third time, do you love me? Phileo love me. In other words, it's kind of like you say, I'm asking you, do you agape love me like you said you did? And he says, well, the best I'm able to pull off is friendship. Now I realize that this is kind of my application of this. And then he even asked him, do you even phileo love me? Do you even love me as a friend? And he was grieved because the third time he asked him this. And he said to him, Lord, you know all things, which is always a good thing to remember. He knows our heart. You know that I friendship love you. Jesus said to him, tend my sheep. Peter was done boasting about his sacrificial love. He was done with it. He said to Jesus, I am your friend, and that is about as good as I can do. And that is how I will agape love you, Lord. That's the best I can do. Of course, doing what he said toward other disciples and those around him would come, that idea, of course, doing this sacrificial love. We know in the life of Peter that did come in its own time. But how he treated the other disciples and the ones that would come later, those lambs and those sheep, would be the way he would prove out his agape love. It was that friendship love, that brotherly love. It would prove out every metric of love. And so it is with you and I. It's easy for us to say, I would die for you, but most of the time we're not needing to die for people. We need to live for them. We need to try, and we fail. And we think we're doing well, and we misread it. Peter was Jesus's, one of the big investments in his life, and he struggled. Why would we not struggle? We fail here so often. I know I do. We too often deny him in our lives. We deny him in our lives. But you know what he says? He comes along and he says, to restore us, he says, how about let's start with this? Are you even my friend? And if you are my friend, take care of my sheep. Love the people I put around you. Take care of my people. We have to, through repeated failures, keep trying, just like Peter, keep growing in our imperfect love and as a friend until agape love can bleed through in our lives. I'm so far from loving in the way I should. I know that the goal of my life is to be the most loving kind of version of me for Jesus' sake. Until, to get to that place, that's going to keep me really, really busy. That's a life goal. I have a long ways to go. It'd be a lot easier if we could let's just come up with a different goal, some kind of metric that we can measure. But every day shows me I too, like Peter, deny him. And I need his restoring reproof and reminder of how to do it. Where to start with it. You don't have to get stuck in some grand gesture of sacrificing yourself or some big, thing like that. Those things will come. They may come. Remember, Peter, tradition tells us, was crucified upside down. Where we can start? Just trying to be a friend. Just be there. Be present. Be loyal. There's a lot of people that, declare their own loyalty, but they're not really reliable people. We'll talk more about that on Sunday. Be honest. Be humble when you're wrong. And then just keep trying. Keep trying that path of love. Keep asking that question, what will love require of me in this? And so, Jesus said, Peter, do you phileo me? He says, Lord, I do. And he didn't say, well, that's not good enough. He said, feed my sheep, tend my lambs. And we can all do that. We can start with that and work our way as the Lord opens those doors and enlarges our hearts to take phileo and make it an expression of agape. Now, this Sunday, I'll be talking about the history of friendship, especially from the Bible. And I think it'll be really helpful and encouraging and give you some practical advice. Here's a couple things you can do. Number one, just invite somebody to come with you, maybe sit with you in a service or come to breakfast with you. If you want to practice friendship, just be friendly toward people. Reach out to people. If they turn you down, you don't get all hurt about it. Just try. And so, also for those of you that have been asking me about giving, a lot of you have been asking about giving online. Just go to our website, or you can go ToledoFirstBaptist.com/give, and it'll tell you all about that, how you can set it up for this year. Thank you for watching this, and if it's helpful, you feel like, wow, I need to really grow in love. Well, let's start with friendship. That's what Jesus directed Peter to do. And so let's do that together. We got to do that together. We can't really practice friendship by ourselves. God bless you. Thanks for watching.